It's a WRAL weather alert day. We have a winter weather advisory in effect through around 10 a.m. I'll show you what we saw overnight and what we'll see through the morning.
And we're talking about potential bridge freezing. The WRAL storm tracker is monitoring trouble spots ahead of your morning commute. We'll also get you a look at the road temperatures this morning. And deputy shoots a person. This morning, the Nash County Sheriff's Office says that a suspect was shot. The investigation happening right now. A lot of stories that we're following, including those breaking news stories we just touched on there. We'll dive in just a second, but first I want to say thank you for joining us this morning on WRAL News. I'm Chris Levingood. Swinging over to the WRAL Severe Weather Center, we have Elizabeth Gardner, who is tracking right now the radar situation with us and seeing just a little activity there behind you, Elizabeth.
That's right. It was very light overnight last night, which is exactly what we were expecting. You can see there's not a whole lot left, but this light precipitation may be ongoing for the next several hours. The pink shaded area is where we'd be seeing a wintry mix, and it looks like when I came in this morning, it looked like there were just a few little snowflakes in it. I also had some frozen raindrops on my windshield, so a little mix of freezing rain, maybe a few flurries out there. Right now, most of it's from Raleigh south and east, Smithfield, up toward Rocky Mount, Wilson, back down toward Dunn and Fayetteville. We're going to be watching the temperatures out there on the roads. There was more snow back to the west, but that's likely to stay there. Notice the low pressure system pulling away from us, and gradually it will move on out. And again, we should be finished with this pretty soon. This is a look at 7, 8, 9 o'clock. Notice that even closer to lunchtime, we might still have a little light precipitation down to the south, but I wouldn't expect anything that's causing any problems. We take a look at Roxborough, and you can see there is nothing on the streets there. The only thing that you'll want to watch out for is any wet bridges. Could be very slippery. It's 32 degrees and it's breezy. A northeast wind at around 11 miles per hour. Gradually, we'll start to see a little sunshine, but it'll be late today. And then our temperatures crash getting into the weekend. I'll show you why it turns colder.
All right, we'll come back to you in a bit, Elizabeth. Thank you. We are starting the morning with some wintry mix and monitoring the refreezing concerns on the road. WRAL's Flynn Snyder is in the storm tracker this morning. And Flynn, we're talking about elevated surfaces such as bridges that are the main concern this morning.
Yeah, Chris, that's right. Good morning to you. We're currently on 440 westbound, just passing Western Boulevard right now. We'll give you a look at the roads this morning. No precipitation where we are right now. We did pass a band of some rain about 30 minutes ago. Just wet pavement for the time being. Normal travel speeds, light volume this morning on 440. Let's bring up the road temps map to show you the temperatures out here. It shows roads here in closer to Raleigh just at or below freezing right now. And that is the main concern we're seeing this morning. Freezing surfaces, the possibility for that on bridges, which is why we see some school districts are on a slight delay, 2-hour delay this morning. So just take some time, use caution if you do have to be out this morning. Otherwise, no issues so far right now, but just be aware that the possibility for some freezing on elevated surfaces if you do have to be out this morning. We're live in the storm tracker. Flynn Snyder, WRAL News.
And the overnight wintry weather is forcing school schedule changes here locally. Most of the districts in our area will be on 2-hour delays. That includes Wake and Orange counties and Durham Public Schools. Chapel Hill Carborough schools will also be on a 2-hour delay, and Nash, Edgecombe, Wayne, and Mecklenburg County, Virginia are closed today. But we do have a full list of closings and delays on our website, WRAL.com. All right, let's get over to our breaking news that we're following in Nash County. A deputy shot a person during an investigation. This happened around 11 p.m. on Tom George Road off Taylor's Store Road north of Nashville. Let's bring in Allie Cavlabar. She's in the WRAL breaking news tracker at the Nash County Sheriff's Office. Allie, the Sheriff's Office hasn't released too many details, though.
And Chris, we're expecting to learn more details, though, in a press conference later today. Here's what we do know so far. We want to show you this video from the WRAL breaking news tracker of this active investigation in Nash County. Now, this is at a house on Tom George Road where we saw multiple deputies investigating. We also saw a rifle set up on the street in front of that house. Nash County Sheriff's Office confirmed with us this morning that a deputy shot a person at this house around 11 last night. Now, we're working to find out the circumstances that prompted a deputy to shoot a person. We're also working to find out if more than one deputy fired. We have a lot of questions. We're going to keep you updated. Reporting live in Nashville, Allie Cavlabar, WRAL News.
And power is back on for more than 1,000 customers who lost it because of a crash in Raleigh. Police say that a car hit a power pole on East Millbrook Road last night, but utility workers were able to get the power back on this morning. The driver who crashed was not hurt. This morning, Governor Josh Stein is expected to make an announcement on public safety and mental health. Stein hasn't provided details yet. However, it's worth noting there have been high-profile killings in the state that have been blamed on people with histories of mental illness. State lawmakers passed tough on crime changes last year, and that was called Irina's Law. That was after the victim killed on a light rail in Charlotte. The law gained new attention after the fatal attack of a Raleigh teacher, and Stein signed that bill into law, but also criticized it. He says it didn't do enough to address mental illness or to boost law enforcement funding. His announcement today could spur new action by the state. And we'll be watching very closely, and you can look for updates as well on WRAL.com. Today, we could get a better look at the town of Cary's finances. The town council is expected to hear the results of an independent audit. The town's finances have been under scrutiny after it parted ways with its former town manager. Sean Stiegel, right here on your screen, left the town a couple months ago and is now under investigation for potential fraud. Town leaders have pledged transparency in this process. We also expect to hear more from the mother of the shooter behind the 2022 Hedingham mass shooting in Raleigh. Yesterday, Elise Thompson testified about the day he killed her other son and 4 other people. It was the first time we have ever heard from her. And she talked about the day of the shooting, how she discovered her eldest son dead in their bathroom. She also talked about how she learned from a hospital bed that her youngest son was the shooter.
What I remember waking up, I remember a male detective sitting there and he said, Austin did this. And, you know, you don't think of that. That's your child. You're like, what? And they're like, Austin did this. He left a note.
Now, when asked if she had noticed any red flags in her son's behavior before the shooting, she said no. A live stream of today's testimony will be available on WRAL.com and WRAL's YouTube channel. Today's show co-host Savannah Guthrie and her siblings are pleading for the safe return of their mother. Nancy Guthrie was reported missing Sunday, and there have been reports of ransom letters that were sent to 2 news outlets. But no law enforcement agency has substantiated those reports. However, in a video shared to Instagram, Savannah, surrounded by her siblings, acknowledges the reports and has this message to whomever might have her mother.
We need to know, without a doubt, that she is alive and that you have her. We want to hear from you, and we are ready to listen.
Investigators took down the crime scene tape around Nancy Guthrie's home last night, and they're still trying to find any evidence, including potential surveillance video. President Donald Trump assured the family every resource is available as needed to help find their mother. And hundreds of people gathered in Tucson last night for a candlelight vigil to honor Nancy. Savannah's close friends organized it, and people in that community came together to show support for the Guthrie family.
We don't know her, but we've gone through this ourselves, and we wanted to show the support that Tucson has for her in the community.
Organizers say the response from the community was overwhelming, with people arriving throughout the evening to pray, to sing, and to stand together in a moment of unity with the Guthries. First Lady Melania Trump met with a North Carolina native and his wife who were held captive during the Israel-Hamas war. What you're seeing here is video of them meeting the First Lady. Keith Siegel grew up in Chapel Hill but later moved to Israel. That's where he met his wife, Aviva. Hamas took them hostage after attacking Israel in 2023. Aviva was in custody for more than 50 days. Keith, nearly 500. Democrats and Republicans are pushing back against President Donald Trump's calling for Republicans to nationalize elections. This happened after new body cam footage released yesterday. It showed FBI agents searching the Fulton County Elections Office in Georgia. Agents left with hundreds of boxes of ballots and documents related to the 2020 election. Lawmakers say they are against the idea of nationalizing elections, including U.S. Senator from North Carolina, Tom Tillis.
Do you think I'm going to vote for it? Do you think other members in at-risk states should be voting for something like that? Do you think that that's a winning message for people to keep a majority in the Senate, which I am trying desperately to do?
It's always been the responsibility of the states to administer elections.
The White House argued the president is talking about the SAVE Act. That would require proof of citizenship to register to vote. It's a requirement already in place in 7 states. Trump later doubled down, saying that he'd prefer the federal government to take over elections entirely in some states. UNC grad and New England's Patriot quarterback Drake May is preparing for Super Bowl 60 this weekend. And there are others who played college football in North Carolina who will be playing. Wake Forest native Drake Thomas has seen his game take him from Heritage High School to NC State to now the Super Bowl with the Seattle Seahawks.
The goal was to be the best college football player I could be. So in hindsight, looking back at it, I mean, I didn't really think I had a shot in the NFL initially. I think it's pretty cool to realize where I'm at when it wasn't the plan, it wasn't expected.
To the top, my guy. The Seahawks and Patriots will face off this Sunday, and kickoff at Levi Stadium is scheduled for 6:30. You can watch that game on WRAL. Your time is 4:40 this morning. Tracking measles exposure. One person is hospitalized with the disease in North Carolina. The message from doctors when it comes to vaccinations. Plus, restocking the stores. Hear about the efforts to fill store shelves before the Super Bowl after back-to-back winter storm rushes. And as we've been talking about, it is a WRAL weather alert day. We're giving you a live look right now through the WRAL storm tracker, looking pretty calm out on the roads. We're going to give you more looks throughout the morning of the messy commute potential you could face.
From the WRAL Severe Weather Center, North Carolina's most experienced team of meteorologists.
443, taking a look at dual Doppler 5000 radar. Lots of pretty colors on here. That does mean that it's a bit of a wintry mix. Mostly what we're seeing is just a little bit of drizzle left over with temperatures sitting at or below freezing. There could be some slippery bridges this morning. I didn't see any indication of that as I drove in this morning. Temperatures are hovering right around freezing, especially where the precipitation is still falling. So a small chance this morning, about a 30 to 40% chance up until around lunchtime. And then gradually we'll see some clearing later on this afternoon. And then another round potentially of just a quick shower for tomorrow. Right now, the streets look dry in Chapel Hill, but anywhere you see a bridge that looks wet, it could be on the slippery side, so be careful out there. It does look a little more damp here in Roxborough, but you can see there was no snowfall accumulation there. It is 32 in Durham and Roxborough, 31 in Cary, 32 in Rocky Mount, 30 in Holly Springs, 32 Fayetteville, 31 in Garner. So you can see everybody's either at or below freezing, at least showing up on this map. Temperatures could drop a little bit lower, maybe into the upper 20s to right around 30 this morning. Kids are going to be chilly at the bus stop. Most of them going either 2 hours late or off school today, and it stays chilly all day with a high of nearly 40 degrees. I'll show you why we have a big warm up in our 7-day forecast down the road.
This morning, we're looking into the crime statistics for Raleigh in the last quarter of 2025. There were 5 homicides, up from the 4 reported in 2024. Robberies were down by 8%. Car thefts were down by 43% compared to the same time the year before. And traffic deaths were also down. The Wake County Sheriff's Office charged 2 people in connection with a mail fraud scheme. The incidents happened in September, November, and December. Basically, in each case, checks were stolen from mailboxes, altered, and deposited into unknown accounts. And now, Janiyah Dickens and Tahaji Brown face multiple charges in this. 15 measles cases have been confirmed in North Carolina, and 1 person is hospitalized. At least 1 case was in Nash County. Health leaders say most of the cases are connected to trips to areas with outbreaks. The cases also involve unvaccinated people. The first hospitalization in North Carolina was reported last week, and the state health department is launching text notifications for potential measles exposures. Our state had only 1 case in 2024 and none the 5 years before that. Doctors are encouraging people to get vaccinated. And now South Carolina is up to 876 measles cases. They're all related to an outbreak in Spartanburg County. Cases are also starting to appear away from the outbreak. Measles vaccination rates for January were some of the highest South Carolina has seen in years.
Over 7,000 more doses of measles vaccine were given statewide in January of 2026 as compared to January of 2025. That's a 72% increase.
The South Carolina state epidemiologist who you just heard from says the Sumter County measles cases is especially concerning, and that is because they don't know how that first person contracted it. February is National Self-Check Month, and it's important to assess changes to your health. Self-checks are not just for early cancer detection, but identifying other illnesses too. Self-checks are going to be a little different for everyone. In general, doctors recommend looking for anything that may be abnormal. That could be unexplained weight loss, changes in the bathroom, or bumps and bruises that won't heal.
There's nobody else in the world exactly like you, so you've got your own set of ideas and your own family history, your own genetics. Know what is normal for you, and when that changes, that's the kind of thing that we'd be interested in talking about.
He also suggests doing regular skin checks and documenting any moles or spots that start to look different. But remember, self-checks are not meant to replace cancer screenings. Nashville, North Carolina distributed more than 1,000 cases of bottled water to people affected by a boil water advisory. The town is currently dealing with water pressure issues. If you plan on using water, you are asked to boil it for at least 1 minute before drinking, brushing teeth, making ice, etc. We'll let you know, of course, once that advisory is lifted. Days after the last winter storm hit North Carolina, grocery stores are trying to restock their shelves, and they're doing so as people are preparing for Super Bowl parties. Customers bought up the essentials to get through the storm. However, store managers we talked to say they're not concerned. They told us deliveries are coming and the shelves won't be bare for long.
Well, right now it's a little empty in there right now because some of the people are starting to come out, because the snow had the road shut down for a while.
The dangerous road conditions also disrupted deliveries. But we want to swing over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner to talk about what we can expect coming up. No reason to rush out and stock up on milk and bread, and the people who did so, I guess, start eating it.
Yeah, make me a grilled cheese sandwich. Send it over. We take a look at our wintry mix possible before noon. None of this was really going to be any accumulation or any real problems, but just keep in mind anything that looks wet on a bridge could be slippery this morning. That's going to be the main concern. I don't think that'll be widespread, but just keep your eye on it. Temperatures are either at or below freezing at this point, and we had a little light precipitation overnight. Another chance for Friday, just a quickie, again, spotty chance for some showers ahead of a cold front, and then that will deliver some cold air for the weekend with highs in the upper 30s to low 40s. So we are not done with this little blast of winter yet. You see the purple shaded areas, that's where we're likely having just a little bit of light freezing rain. There was a little snow mixed in this morning. I mean, just a flurry or two. That is pushing off to the west, but Futurecast continues to show the potential for just a little bit of light precipitation. The low pressure system is moving out of here, so as it moves on out, it'll take that moisture along with it, but it has wrapped some back around. You can see Futurecast this morning continues just to show a little bit of light precipitation. Don't be surprised if it's just a flurry or maybe a few sprinkles that start to freeze. I had that a little bit on my windshield, just a few little freezing drops on my windshield, but it should by lunchtime be pretty much out of here. Let's take a look at what's happening here in Chapel Hill. The roads are dry right now. It is 32 degrees and it's breezy. So it's chilly, it's damp, and a wind chill is likely to be an issue. It feels like 23 in Raleigh right now. It feels like 22 in Southern Pines and Fayetteville. It feels like 26 in South Hill and up around Roxborough. This is a look at temperatures. We did dip to 28 already in Henderson. We're looking at freezing temperatures pretty much everywhere. 32 in Siler City and in Rocky Mount. Even in our southern counties, looking at freezing temperatures, 30 in Southern Pines and 31 in Goldsboro. We're looking at a chilly day today. Our high temperature upper 30s to right around 40 with mostly cloudy skies. And again, we're going to get a shot of some colder air for the weekend, but it should be nice and sunny. 41 Saturday, 42 on Sunday for the Super Bowl. It looks really nice in San Francisco. Look at that, 63 degrees at game time. Will be cold here. But the 12th through the 18th, we have a good chance of above average temperatures for the first time in quite some time. What does that look like? Check it out. 58 on Tuesday, 61 on Wednesday next week.
61?
Yeah.
Goodness, just fast forward, please. All right, your time is 4:50. Horsepower? No. Hydrant power. A car in California was lifted by the water pressure of a fire hydrant. What we know about the crash that led to this. Plus, keeping animals warm. The Metro Richmond Zoo in Virginia is responding to the recent winter weather. Their closed-door operation to fight the cold. Nice and calm and quiet over at Fenton and Cary. I'm noticing that the snow that we saw the last couple of days is starting to melt away, though there is some still lingering. We'll get you a check on your weather coming up in just a bit here on WRAL News. Well, new video from California shows a car being lifted by the force of the water coming from a fire hydrant. And this happened after the car was hit and then crashed into a fire hydrant. But it's not clear which vehicle was at fault, though. Firefighters say no one was hurt, but still, wow. First Lady documentary surge in viewership and the story of a woman living in her car until it's stolen. Here's David Daniel with today's Hollywood Minute.
Here we go again.
Melania, about the current First Lady in the lead up to last year's inauguration, appears to have boosted viewership of a film about a predecessor, as the new documentary made the box office top 5 last weekend, Becoming, the 2020 Netflix doc about Michelle Obama, based on her best-selling memoir, had its viewership rise more than 13,000%, according to data provider Luminate.
Hello? Yes, I'd like to report a stolen car, please. My 91 Camry!
We found your blue Toyota Camry.
I'm Amanda, you have my car.
$273.
I have to pay that to get my stolen car back?
Oscar nominee Rose Byrne stars in Tow as a woman living in her car until it's stolen, and she's thrown into a legal battle against a broken system. Dominic Sessa, Demi Lovato, Corbin Burnson, and Oscar winners Ariana DeBose and Octavia Spencer co-star. Tow, based on a true story, opens in theaters March 20th. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Rose Byrne is so talented. Richmond Metro Zoo workers in Virginia are taking extra precautions to keep their animals safe from the cold. Zoo staff have been working to bounce back after ice and snowstorms in that area, and so they've stocked up on backup generators and extra bedding to help fight the cold. Certain species are more than happy in the frigid temperatures. The wolves, the snow leopards, and bison seem to feel right at home in the breeze, but some of the babies at the zoo, they're being cared for by human caretakers.
We do have warm heated shelters, but these guys don't always know how to choose the best spaces. So when that's the case, we step in and make those decisions for them to keep them happy and healthy.
The zoo is still closed to the public because of icy pathways, and they're hoping to reopen soon. Your time is 4:56 this morning, tracking icy spots. We are monitoring road temperatures as bridges could freeze this morning. We're going to check in with the WRAL storm tracker ahead of your commute. Plus, deputy shoots suspect. What we are learning this morning about gunfire in Nash County. The investigation underway. Plus, Cary Town audit. Today, we expect to learn more about Cary's finances. The fraud investigation into the former town manager.